Think back to your favorite family memories. Is food involved? I'll bet you 9 times out of 10 it is. Well, family recipes and the things that we do as we sit together around the table oftentimes disappear over time. And so today we're going to talk about creating a family recipe book, because those recipes, when they're gone, they're gone. You can't recreate them. And it's such an easy way to do something wonderful and share it with your family. As a matter of fact, I created this book when I was a young mom and had no money, because this was a cheap gift. But it's become a treasure because there's things in it that are no longer available to me. I have recipes from my grandmother that we preserved because we were doing this book. And I have something wonderfully funny from my dad because he is no longer with us, but I have this great thing that he gave me. So today I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it and give you some ideas of how to create a cookbook of your own. I'm Aimee Cross, and I want to help you take your genealogy to the next level. And family history is really all about connecting with family, and how better to do it than with food. Happy stomachs and family history. Gosh, what's better than that? All right, let's talk a little bit about the cookbook that I created and what some of the fun things are for me. And then I'm going to give you some quick suggestions of things to think about, because you have to make something that works for you. And in all honesty, yeah, this is typewritten, but now with digital things, there's so many different ways that you can do it. You can put something up, you can build a cookbook on Canva, you can do it on like Shutterfly or some of those sites like that. Or you can just do it with the word processing software on your computer and then print out copies and make them for your family. So let me tell you a little bit about my cookbook and why I did what I did. And really, cost was the main reason. So my cookbook has mostly typewritten recipes, but I did put a lot of my grandmother's recipes in her own writing. And in all honesty, I kind of wish that I'd done that more, because like my dad's is typewritten and he's not here anymore. And he had really distinctive handwriting. So I kind of wish that I'd done that. And then I just bound it, and it's this one's lasted a long time, but some of them didn't. I used a rubber band, and I put holes in it, and then I put the rubber band through, and this is a large cinnamon stick, which you can get those from other places really pretty inexpensively. So anyway, that's how I bound my cookbook, but there's so many different ways to do it. So let me tell you a couple of my fun stories. First, let me start with sitting around the table, because I have some of the most great memories of us sitting together around the table at Easter or Christmas, and my dad and my uncle telling stories, and my grandma just being like, "What? I never knew this." And I remember sitting there as a kid going, those are great memories. They're wonderful memories. And so sitting together around meals is really important. So when I asked everybody in the family to send me some of their favorite recipes, that's how I did this cookbook. My dad's like, "I don't cook." Well, that's not true. My dad did cook a lot, and he barbecued a lot. But he sent me this recipe instead. This recipe just cracks me up. It's nuking a TV dinner. And so he sent me a picture of him in a chef suit, which he didn't ever do anything like that. And helpful hint number 2, although spices are not normally required because flavor is already so good, keep a pinch of pepper on hand, no salt. TV dinners are already loaded with salt. And then he goes through all of these hilarious instructions that I'll put up here for you to take a look at. I love it. All right, so while I'm gonna leave this recipe up so that you can keep reading it, because it's dang funny. But then I'm gonna give you some suggestions, okay? Think about the meals that really mean a lot to your family. Think about where they were and what happened around them, and then maybe even include some stories about some of your favorite family meal experiences. And you can ask other family members to do the same. Scatter those throughout your recipe book. Make sure you include in there maybe even some special holiday menus or menus that your family would eat. Because as the generations go on, like my kids don't really have any idea about the meals that we ate other than the stories that I've told them with my grandmother, because she passed when they were relatively young. So include that information in your books, because that makes the books even more meaningful. So you can include those menus. Make sure you include the treats, like the cookies. Maybe your family is well known for a particular Christmas cookie. Put it in, make sure that recipe is in your cookbook. Because I'm reminiscing, I've got to tell you about a cookie story. This is with my dad. So when I was a kid, my parents were divorced, and I would spend some time often with my dad. I'd stay there for an extended period of time. And he loved these peanut butter chocolate chip cookies that I would make. And they're actually my mom's recipe, but he loved those cookies. So one day he went off to work, and I was home that day. Maybe Christmas break had already started, I don't know. And right after he left, I hopped out of bed and I made the cookies. And then I opened up all the windows in the house and I put the cookies and I hid them in the back of the freezer because my dad was notorious for knowing when I made these cookies. And so I opened up all the windows in the house for hours. I had finished these cookies. It was hours before my dad came home, and I'd cleaned up everything. There was no sign that I had made these cookies. Well, guess what? He walks in the door from the office and he goes, "I smell peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. I can't wait till Christmas. I want them now." That's one of my favorite memories with my dad and cookies. All right, what are some other great ideas of things that you want to have in your cookbook? I think one of the big things that I would recommend that you do is invite other people's participation, because your memories are going to be different than other people's, even in your family. My husband's one of 7 children. Yeah, I know, that's a lot of kids. And he's kind of more in the middle, the lower middle. And his memories are very different than his older siblings. So gathering information from other people can really be a wealth of really fun things that maybe you aren't aware of. We are such a visual society today. I would really recommend that you include pictures, because that just tells more of the story, and we like that, right? In things, we have a short attention span. So you can include pictures of maybe the individual that provided the recipe. You can include a picture of maybe the item that the recipe is for. Or you can include a picture of the family all sitting together around the table at different time periods. Maybe in some of your recipes, there's multiple steps, and something is like kind of a family secret or something that really needs to be taught. Have you ever heard the story about the lady that would always cut off part of the roast? And one day, one of her kids said, "Mom, why do you cut off all of this roast? I mean, it's good meat." And she said, "I don't know. Grandma always did it that way. I've just done it the way Grandma did it." Well, then she talks to Grandma. One of the kids talks to Grandma. And Grandma said, "Well, I did that because the pan that I cooked it in was too small." So anyway, but sometimes when we're talking about more complicated recipes, we want more instructions about how Grandma did it to make it extra special, or how Grandpa did it to make it extra special. So include those steps. And maybe you can even have somebody sharing an experience of when Grandma taught them how to make a particular type of cookie, or how to make their famous pie. Something like that. So finally, I would recommend that you include some kind of index in the back. I didn't do that, and I wish that I did. I sorted my recipe by type of thing, like appetizers and, main dishes and different things like that. I sorted them by that. You could also sort the recipes by the person that submitted the recipes, or who the recipe is from. But at the end of the book, I would also include an index, maybe with ingredients, main ingredients, so people know if they want to make a chicken dish, they can go to this and this page. You can put an index in the back where the recipes are, where you have the individual that submitted the recipes if they're not organized in that manner. You could put an index in there about just the basic types of recipes they are. There's lots of different ways to do an index, but I would put some kind of index in the back. I think that makes it more useful. And have fun with it. And it's a great time to give this as a gift for the holidays. So it's a great, inexpensive way to give your family a treasured gift. So I hope this is a wonderful opportunity for you to connect with your family. Enjoy that. Check out this video for other ways to create family memories and interview family members so that you can get their stories. Have a great day.